Oh, how I wish I could reach this level of delusion. However, no, men do not marry inconvenient women. Men love chasing inconvenient women for validation. But they quickly grow tired of this, and then they will settle for the girl who is just like easygoing and never asks them to do anything. And let me tell you how I know this. I have very bare minimum standards for men that would place me into this category of inconvenient women. And boys love to chase after me. And some of them last a week, some of them last a month. But in the end, they always burn out. Like, for the longest time, I felt like Dane Cook in that movie Good Luck Chuck, because every boy I dated would go on to date the next year for like months or even years. This last year, 3 of my exes got engaged, which is wild. Like, sometimes I think I might have even just scared them into realizing what standards could be held for them, so the next girl, they're like, I gotta lock this down. And here's the thing, I used to be like on somewhat mutual terms with a couple of my exes. That's a long story, but I got to know their next girlfriend, and immediately when I met them, a flip switched in my mind and it all made sense. Watching them interact, I'm like, oh, she just lets this man kind of walk all over her. She just has different standards than I do. Such as my one ex, you could call him, things didn't work out because I felt like I was always asking him to step up and do more and think about me when you're doing things. Like, he was just a very selfish man, classic only child trope. And things at one point got very messy, and I later became friends with the girl he dated after me for several years, and she told me the whole story about how the whole time he was just so lazy and he treated her terribly. Things were a little scary sometimes. There's a lot of lying and cheating and that behavior, and I realized I dodged a massive bullet there. But yeah, like, she was just the one who was willing to put up with all that and stay with him. And they got back together since that, which is a whole thing, but I do believe that someday they will get married. But I truly do believe that those two are made for each other, because that's a story for another day. She did some really terrible things to me as well, but like, she just enables his behavior. She's the more convenient choice, and men essentially marry the convenient woman. They love to chase the inconvenient woman, right? Because it brings them all this validation. But then one of two things happen. They either burn out because they just like can't meet the standards that are, again, like bare minimum things, or two, the moment you like kind of let your guard down, they're bored, they're uninterested, they need to go chase something new and more inconvenient. And that's why I personally have a rule when I'm seriously dating, that I don't even consider sleeping with a man until like I really, really, really know him. Because honestly, most of them don't make it to that point. But that's just a personal choice, and it works really well for me, not shaming anyone who does anything differently. But it is true that a lot of times these boys that are just in it for the validation chase, once you sleep with them, they will just be completely gone. Because they felt like they won, like they received the validation. It's a strange thing for sure.